So today's class is a Hatha vinyasa class, so it's nice and active. And I think Mickey just decided for us that we're doing a certain pose that's quite fun to work on. So I'll plan the class in a way that fits that pose as well. And as always, listen to your body. It's fine if you're not able to do certain things. Feel free to adjust where you need to if you have pain or you're just not able to do it. Find an easier version of doing things. Listen to your body. Yeah? Don't distract me anymore, Mickey. All right. Find a comfortable seat. Support yourself wherever you need to. Close your eyes. And take a moment to arrive here, to feel into your body, how you're sitting. Your breath. Making sure that your lower body is nice and relaxed. So that from there, your upper body can grow upwards while feeling supported. Check in with your breath. Feel your belly rising and falling. And start to deepen the breath just a little bit. It doesn't have to be full force right away. Just like a yoga class, we're never going full force into the poses and the sequences. We're coaxing ourselves into it. Start to feel your belly expanding as you inhale and sink down as you exhale. And then adding in the chest. So inhale to the belly first, then widen your chest. Exhaling sinks everything back down. Belly, chest, and release. Feel free to do your own pace. I don't like to exactly tell you when to breathe because it never fits for every person taking this class. So I'd rather I give you suggestions and then you do what feels good. And then we'll add in the third part. So as you start to inhale to your belly first, and then your ribs out moving sideways, and then adding a little bit of extra as you fill up the tops of the lungs. And then release again at the same count. Doesn't have to be the same order. So now it's the deep yogic breath, the 3 steps: belly, ribs, and tops of the lungs. A few more rounds just like that, making it accessible for you. So spreading your breath so that you're able to hit all the 3 points without forcing it too much. As you keep breathing like this, can you feel how your spine grows longer with every inhale, pulling your shoulders slightly back? And then as you release, your shoulders soften as well, but your spine stays long. Release the breath. Bring your palms together in front of your heart. We'll open class with 1 Om. If you want to listen, that's okay too. Take a deep inhale. Bow your head to your hands. Inhale there. Open your mouth, sigh it out. Lift your head up. I always start to yawn automatically with this one. Reach your arms out sideways. Make yourself really tall. Inhale. Exhale, hands back to your heart. Again, scooping out sideways. Inhale. Exhale, hands to your heart. One more time. Inhale. This time, pull your elbows down, but keep your hands up. So you're sitting in a cactus shape. And then make fists of your hands, really squeezing them really, really tight. Thumbs around the fingers. And then you open. Squeeze, open, squeeze, open. Keep going. You can have your arms super high up if that feels okay. For me, they disappear out of the frame sometimes, so I'm keeping them a little bit lower. If your shoulders start to hurt, you can also have your elbows down. That's okay too. Keep going. Open, close, open, close, open, close, open, close. A little bit faster, but keep squeezing really hard. So it's not like a floppy business. It's really like a fist you can punch someone with. Ha! It helps sometimes if your face also moves. And you're not being recorded, so it's fine. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Keep going. It should start to burn. 3, 2, 1. I should do these more as well. Okay, release. You can hopefully feel that really strongly here, which is protecting our wrists because the muscles are now awake. You can take a little moment to move it around or go like this or whatever feels good to you. Release the arms. Come to hands and knees on your mat. Feel free to use a pillow underneath your knees for today's class, especially if your knees bruise easily like mine. Hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Making sure that you're like a rectangle or a square. Pushing your arms down, fingers spread slightly, pushing the index finger knuckles down. Hi, Mick. And then we'll start to do cat-cows because Mickey is here, why not? Rounding your spine on the exhale. Inhaling, hollowing your spine. Looking forward, pushing your tailbone back and pulling your shoulders back. A few more times at your own pace. One of the fun and distracting things of home practice means pets that distract you and housemates and chores, but it's all good. We'll make the most of it. A few more times, rounding on the exhale. Hollowing on the inhale. Last one, round. And then slowly come back to neutral. Curl your toes up, under, and lift your hips up into downward facing dogs. It helps to move your knees slightly back so that your stance is a little bit longer and more fitting. Take a moment to walk out your legs in your down dog. Maybe one heel towards the floor, bend the other knee, and switching a few times. Good. And then walk your feet towards your hands at the front of the mat. Find a forward fold. Feel free to do that any way that fits you. Feet are hips distance, parallel, and your upper body is hanging down. So really release your head unless you're talking to a camera or you have a cat in the way. Shake your head left to right. Let your arms dangle. If your hands touch the floor, you can grab opposite elbows to create a little bit of that hanging sensation. You're so cuddly right now, Mickey. Maybe even leaning slightly forward so you feel more of the stretch on the whole backside of your body. Bend your knees, slowly uncurl the spine until you roll all the way up. I call that root to rise in my teachers' classes. Reach your arms up, inhale. Exhale, hands to your heart. Take a moment here. You can release the arms if that feels better. You can also take layers off if you need to. Make sure that your feet are strong and stable. Your knees are, they don't necessarily have to be bent, but you're not hyperextending the legs. So I like to say, keep them slightly bent so that you can activate the muscles. Imagine lifting your kneecaps up, and then you'll feel a little squeeze in your butt, engage your core, so you're protecting your spine. Imagine your crown is growing up towards the sky, and your arms are hanging down, shoulders relaxed. Close your eyes for a moment and feel how you're standing right now. The contact of your soles of your feet with the floor. Your slow breath. From here, we'll start to move a little bit more actively. So bring your hands together in front of your heart, open your eyes. As you inhale, lengthen your spine, keep your core engaged to support the back. Exhale, fold from the hips all the way down into a forward fold. Hands on your shins, so that as you inhale, you can lengthen your spine into a halfway lift without making it super impossible to touch the floor. From here, fold again, forehead towards your shin bones. Uncurl the spine. So we'll do half sun salutations to warm up a little bit. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Check your posture. It's so easy to go back into whatever natural stance. This is my natural stance. So go back to it. Engage your legs, engage your core. We'll do one more of those. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. You can keep your knees bent. You don't have to straighten legs here. Inhale, halfway lift. Same goes here. You can bend the knees if that's really intense for your hamstrings. Fold forward. From here, instead of going back up, place your hands down. Step your left foot back and bring your left knee down. Grab a pillow if you need it. Lean your hips forward all the way. Stretching the front of the left leg. If it's impossible for you to touch the floor here, that's fine. You can have your hands or your elbow on your knee. Just try and lean forward with both your hips and your torso as much as possible. Find your breath and really try and find that stretch on your left hip and upper leg, and maybe also your right hamstring. That's okay too. Whew. From here, keep your feet and your knee where they are, your foot and your knee, and then just lean your hips back. So now we're stretching the hamstring of the right leg. The hands can come with you if your hands were on the floor, or your hands can go on your hips if you were up a little bit more. Are you so hungry that you want cuddles? Pull your right toes towards your kneecap and stick your butt back. So instead of going like this rounded, try and stick your butt back and do that hollow spine that we did at the beginning. So you'll feel it even more. Whew, don't forget to breathe. Good, bend your knee again. Step your right leg back. Hands and knees or downward facing dog, up to you. So if you're feeling strong today, you can come up all the way. If you prefer to keep your knees down, that's okay too. And then shift forward into plank pose if you were in down dog. If your knees were on the floor, just shift forward a little bit. And then bend your elbows, slowly lower down as slowly as you can go. Ooh, until your chest and belly touch the floor. Push your feet down, pull your shoulders back, keep your forehead on the floor. Now try and lift your palms off the floor, hover them while your forehead is still down, squeeze your core. Inhale here. As you exhale, keep your hands off the floor, just lift your head up. Inhale here, one more time, lift even more. And then exhale, come down, forehead down, hands down. Curl your toes, come back up to hands and knees or downward facing dog. I'll leave that up to you today, which option you're picking. Listen to your body, what works for you. As you inhale, lift your left leg up, bend your knee, open the hip. And then as you exhale, step your foot forward on the outside of your left hand. You can bring your right knee down again. So now we're on the other side, but in a slightly different pose. The knee is on the outside of the arms. Your right toes, no, this is left. Your left toes are pointing outwards maybe. And you're feeling maybe more the stretch in the inner groin. Take a moment to breathe here. This is called a lizard lunge. If you feel like it, you can bend your elbows, maybe bring elbows on the floor, but that's not accessible to everyone, and it's not necessary for everyone to feel the stretch in the right way. From here, we're going to do the same thing where you lean your hips back and you straighten your left leg so that you feel your hamstring stretching, but now it feels slightly different probably because you're more on the inside of your left leg, yeah? You can walk your hands back slightly. You can have your hands on your hips as well. Just feel like your left foot is maybe on the outside edge of your mat, so it's a bit different. Woo! From here, look forward, bend your front knee again, step forward into a forward fold. I shuffled my left foot to the center of the mat so that the feet are now hips distance. Relax your head, relax your arms. Take a breath. And then place your hands on your shin. Inhale, halfway lift on your shins. Exhale, fold, and we'll go all the way back up. So bend your knees, uncurl the spine. Arms up, inhale. Exhale, hands to your heart. And let's do the other side. So inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold. You can bend your knees if you need to. Inhale, halfway lift. Lengthen, feel your hamstrings wake up. And then step your right foot back. Bring your right knee down. Lean your hips forward and lean your chest forward. So now we're in the same leg as just before, except it's the different one. So the leg is in between the arms, or elbow on knee is fine too. Try and find the stretch on the front of your right hip. And go as deep as is accessible to you. Pull your shoulders back. Make it a proud pose. Breathe. Good. From here, lift your hips back. So we're straightening the left leg. Left and right is difficult for me, sorry. Pull your toes towards you and use your hands either on the floor or on your hips to really find support so you don't feel too wobbly. Stick your butt back and lift your chest forward. Yes, good. The more you do the chest forward thing, the more you'll feel the hamstring stretching. So a little bit more. One more breath here. And then bend your front knee, place your hands down, step it back. Either downward facing dog or hands and knees. Choose your option. As you inhale, come to plank pose or shift your weight slightly forward. Hold it here for a sec. So hips are low as your shoulders, but not lower. Keep your spine safe. And then bend your arms and slowly come down all the way onto your belly as controlled as possible. Flip your feet around, push the tops of your feet down. Keep your chin towards your chest, pull your shoulders away from your ears, and then we'll lift the hands and the head this time. Inhale, lift, lift, lift. Keep pushing with the feet, keep engaging your core. Exhale, bring the arms down, curl your toes back to either down dog or hands and knees. Take a moment here. And then we'll lift the right leg up, bend the knee, open the hip. In down dog, this looks like this, but if you were on hands and knees, you're still doing the same thing. You're bending your knee and you're lifting it up away, like a little dog that's going for a pee. Find your breath. And then step your right foot outside your right hand. Bring the left knee down. So now we're in the lizard lunge, and your right toes might be pointing slightly outwards. Your right knee is falling slightly outwards. Hands are underneath your shoulders on the inside of the leg. If it feels like enough, stay here. Feel the stretch on your right inner groin. If you want a little bit more, see if you can bend the elbows. And if your right elbow goes to the floor, then your left can also go. But if only the left one can go, you're basically in a twist. So that's not what we want. Choose your options. Find your breath. And feel into what you're feeling in this pose. Probably your right hip. Whew. One more breath. And come back to hands if you're on your elbows. Lean your hips back so we're straightening the right leg now to that hamstring stretch. Whew. Might feel more intense, more difficult here, or more easy depending on your body. You can have your hands on the floor or on your hips. Remember to try and hollow your spine. So I like to go on fingertips here, or when I practice myself, I have 2 yoga blocks so that I can really feel that hollowing instead of just focusing on them touching the floor. Ooh, yeah. Pull your toes towards your kneecap so you feel more of the calf muscle as well. Whew. Good. And then rebend into the front leg. Step the foot a little bit more to the center. Step forward. Forward fold. Hands on your shins. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold even more. Relax your head. Maybe shake the spine out. Maybe shake just the head and the neck out. Bend your knees, uncurl the spine, come all the way up. Inhale. Exhale, hands to your heart. Coming to a wide-legged stance. So I'm going to turn towards you guys so you can see better. You can also turn, you don't necessarily need the mat unless your floor is very slippery, but make sure the feet are parallel to each other. So often when we stand here, the toes are pointing out. Make the toes point a little bit in. Keep your knees safe so they're not locked. I say this very often because my knees are very good at locking. Squeeze your core, stick your butt out, and lean your belly forward until you're coming into a wide-legged forward fold. Your arms can be along your legs if that feels good. I like to hang down and maybe pull myself a little bit more in on calves or ankles, wherever you can touch. And then sway here as well. Maybe your torso is swaying, but I like to make the hips sway. So one knee bends a little bit and then the other. So that we're really waking up the whole legs, hips combination. Breathe. And then reach your arms towards the floor. If you're not touching the floor, that's fine. You're just still sticking them towards the back. If you are touching the floor, you can use it to kind of walk your hands backwards, maybe. The palms can turn around, that doesn't matter. But you're imagining you're walking your torso through the gateway of your legs, which is only possible for like spaghetti yogis, but still. It's about the stretch that you feel. If your hands are on something solid like the floor, you might even feel safe enough to lean your weight forward away from the hands so that you're feeling even more into that stretch on the back of your legs. Don't forget to breathe. Relax your shoulders. You don't have to straighten the legs. You can keep the knees slightly bent. Remember, we're keeping this soft. We're not forcing ourselves into pretzels. We're just seeing what kind of pretzel we can be today. with a little bit of challenge. Bring the arms back, bend your knees, turn the toes out now. So now we are going into the ballet position. One hand on the inside of one knee, the other hand on the inside of the other knee. Knees are bent. And then I like to just sway here a little bit to feel the inner groins stretching more. Don't forget to breathe. Whew. Go at your own level. Good. And then walk the toes towards each other. Walk the heels towards each other. Toes, heels. Until you're standing back up straight. Have your toes pointing outwards. And depending on your body, you might have to widen the stance a little bit or shorten it. Up to you. Bend your knees and come into a squat. If your heels need to lift for this, that's fine. If you know that your knees are easily hurt, then you can do this sitting with your butt on the floor. Or if you're more flexible, you have the space, you can have the heels down. Now imagine bringing your elbows on the inside of the legs and pushing them away while the knees are like, nope, we don't want to go. So I'm going to show you the sitting version as well for those who have knee issues like I used to have. I have adjustments for all knee issues. So you're pushing your knees out. When you're sitting, it's even more work because your legs are like, okay, but they shouldn't be. They're squeezing in. So if the arms weren't there, the knees would go straight in. And if the knees wouldn't there, the arms would go open. Yeah? There's a tension. Hold that, keep squeezing, and try and make your chest a little bit taller. Especially if you are in an actual squat and not with your butt on the floor. It's very tempting to go like this, like a little ball. But we want to open the chest. Keep squeezing your knees, keep pushing your arms, keep pulling your shoulders back. Inhale. Exhale, let your butt come to the floor. For everyone, shake out your legs. Floppy flop. I'll turn towards the front. We'll do a little bit of twisting, which can feel quite intense. We haven't twisted yet. So let's start soft, actually. Come into a cross-legged position. So this is just a warm-up twist. Lift your arms up, bend your elbows, and just twist without using the hands on the floor. So now only your core, your legs are creating the movement and not the pressure against something else. I like to pull my elbow towards my spine to make it a little bit more quick and effective. You might hear some cracking. That's okay. Noise effects, sound effects are optional. But that's a fun thing about practicing at home. You can make as many sound effects as you need to. You also can in yoga class, but it's a little bit easier at home. So come back to center. If your right leg is forward, no, actually, I don't care. Place your right hand on your left knee, your left hand behind you, a second warm-up twist. Inhale, lengthen your spine first. Check that both your sit bones are on the floor. And then start to slowly, that was a big crack. Twist and look over your left shoulder. You can use the pressure of your hand on the floor and your hand on the knee to help you twist, but remember that also your core is working like before. Inhale makes your spine longer. Exhale, twist a little bit deeper. One more time. Now come back to center. Switch your arms if you want to. Also switch your legs so the other one is in front, but that's not the focus for today. Left hand on right knee, right hand behind you. Mickey says you're doing great. Keep going. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, slowly start to twist. Again, using your arms, but also your core, looking over your right shoulder. Feeling both of your sit bones on the floor. Breathe, length. Exhale, twist. One more time. Slowly release, come back to center. Extend your right leg forward and bend your left leg with the foot towards the inside of the thigh. We're going to open this up a little bit. So imagine pulling your left knee open. So now you're facing towards the side. This doesn't have to go as far as this, or maybe you're going much further, depending on your body. But it's almost like you're sitting in a wide-legged forward fold with one leg bent instead of two legs forward. Yeah, the hips are twisted open. And then your right arm is gonna either hand on knee shin or elbow on knee shin on the inside. So a little bit on the inside. So it's like you're twisting your torso open. Your left arm can either go in the same line as the other arm, so a little bit back. If it feels okay, you can go over towards your right foot. But remember, it's not the focus to touch the right foot, because then the whole twisting and the whole opening is gone. So we're focusing on the elbow or the arm pushing you open. And then maybe you're touching something, but maybe not. You should really feel this in your left chest and armpit and side body. Breathe. Whew. One more breath. You're doing great. Slowly come back to center. And switch legs. I'm just going to switch like this so that I keep facing you guys, but you can switch the other way so you're not facing this way. You know what's coming now. If you have knee issues and this is hurting the extended leg like it will on this side for me, you can use a little pillow underneath the knee or a block or something. Remember, your left leg is extended, your right leg is bent and kind of open. Left hand or elbow on the left leg inside of the left knee. So you're really already starting to twist. Leaning sideways and opening. Maybe your right arm is just in line here. If that's enough, that's fine. Maybe you feel like going over. But find a level, because this side stretch can feel really intense, for me at least. So don't overdo it. Remember, it's not about touching your toe because it messes up the alignment. Find your breath. Keep opening your right chest as if you're leaning backwards, looking underneath your own armpit towards the sky. Mickey is inspecting if you're doing okay still. Reporting back to me. They're still alive, mommy. One more breath. Come back up. Release the legs, the arms. Take a moment to shake it out or do whatever you need to. And then come sitting. I have cat hairs everywhere now. I have your cat hairs everywhere. So sitting facing towards the camera so you can see what we're doing, because this is going to get a little bit more pretzel-y. And again, choose your level, what you're comfortable with. You don't have to go full force. So sitting in cross-legged position, start to lift your right leg a little bit. You can keep it bent. You're kind of blocking the view, mister. You want to come sit here? No? Come here. Okay. So right leg is bent and you can hold on to the foot for a second and just sway it. If you're a little bit more flexible, you can make this cradling baby. So your right elbow goes around your right knee, your left elbow goes around your right foot, and you're rocking it side to side like it's a little baby. Aww. But it's fine if you're doing that from the foot or even with your arms underneath your shin bone, the calf muscle, so you're lifting it up. Yay! Okay, good. Now this is where it gets fun. With your left hand, grab the right foot on the outside. So in front of the foot and then the fingers around the pinky toe edge. And now you can use your right hand to lift your foot up a little bit more. Maybe that's it for today. You're here and you're stretching your hamstrings. If you have the ability, you can imagine your right knee is a backpack that you're throwing over your shoulder. Maybe it's sliding off your arm right away. That's fine. Mine is too. You can try again. Maybe it wants to go up a little bit more. And you'll see and you'll notice here, if you're watching me, that my right butt is now off the floor. And that's okay. You're sitting on your left leg. Yeah, try that out. How does that work for you? Can you get it over there? Maybe you're chilling here with your backpack, waving at people with your foot. Maybe you're still swaying your baby backpack. It's pretty fun. Yeah, good. Let's release that first and do the other side so we don't get too pretzel-y right away. So right leg comes down. If you want to give it a shake or something, that's okay. And then lift your left foot up with your hands. Choose your option. Maybe you're putting your arms underneath it, like you're catching a rugby ball, or you're holding onto the foot and swaying it, or you're doing the full baby cradle, rocking the baby. Aww, so cute. The leggings filled with cat hairs. Take a breath here. And now use your right hand to grab the outside of your left foot. Yeah? From here, you can use your left hand underneath your foot. I do like a thumb on one side, fingers on the other, and I try to lift up the heel a little bit. Maybe that's enough for today. Then that's what you're working with. Maybe you're starting to see if your backpack wants to go over your shoulder. And you'll see me leaning more towards the right because then the left butt cheek comes off the floor. At least if we're not super flexible, which I'm currently not for my range. So see how that works with the backpack. Maybe it's not for you at all. Maybe it's fine and you're throwing your foot behind your head. All levels are always welcome in class, so never let this deter you from not being able to do something. Maybe rocking, maybe playing around. We'll go somewhere else in a moment. Release. Take a second, close your eyes. And feel into what just happened. Are you just feeling warm and excited? Or maybe very often our brain says, I can't do that. And that's fine. That's a brain trying to protect you. But I know, and maybe you know as well, that you're capable of much more than your brain thinks you are. If your body shows you limits, then yes, always respect them. Or train them so that you can get stronger, fitter, whatever. Flexible is what the word I was looking for. But never let the brain thought, that's scary, I can't do that. Never let that stop you. Take a deep inhale. Sigh out any brain thoughts. And let's go back to the first side. So right foot. We'll go straight into the preparation. So your left hand on the outside of the right foot, right hand underneath. Choose your options. Maybe you're just straightening. Maybe you're throwing your backpack over your shoulder. I haven't done this one in a long time as well, so we're working on it together. If this feels possible for you, here's a little next step. Extend your right arm out to the side, place your fingers down, and see if you can squeeze your leg to stay sort of up your upper arm. I'm wearing a long sleeve t-shirt, which means that it often glides down right away. So one of the tricks is to get nice and sweaty before you do this and maybe remove some layers. If you're able, it's like pulling your elbow slightly back into your knee so that you're able to hold on to this, yeah? If it doesn't work, don't worry. From here, we're gonna see if we can extend the leg a little bit and look underneath our own elbow, left elbow. Maybe you're extending all the way. This is called compass pose. Maybe you're nowhere near. All is fine. You might feel the stretch on your left ribs like we warmed up. You might feel the hamstring stretch like we warmed up, and the hip stretch like we all warmed up. Release. Yes. Take a moment to unpretzel yourself. As you can maybe tell, I'm not in a very serious mood today. I'm sorry if that is not your mood. Let's switch to the other one. Remember, brain thoughts are normal, but not the truth. Just try and see what happens. So left leg, grab the foot with the right hand on the outside of the left foot. Left hand goes underneath. Maybe you're working here on the flexibility, on the hamstring stretch. Maybe you're leveling up to backpack over the shoulder, like a good school-going person. Maybe you're starting to squeeze your leg. At the same time, push your left elbow backwards into the thigh and place the fingertips on the floor. Maybe this is enough. Maybe you want to go a little bit further. Choose your options. Remember, I'm just giving you options and you're the ultimate boss who decides what you're doing. Maybe you're starting to straighten the left leg and just look underneath your right elbow. Maybe that's enough for today. Maybe you're trying to extend the leg a little bit more. Maybe looking underneath, sticking your head through. Whoo, yeah. You can feel stretch in your hamstrings, in your hips, in your right chest. Don't forget to breathe. And then release. Release, release, release all the way. Take a moment. Find your stillness again, your sitting position. And your breath. Remember, you're not able to do everything. I'm not able to do everything. And that's good. That means we have something to work on. How boring would it be if you were able to do everything right away? Also maybe awesome for the first time, but then also just boring. Come lie, ooh, the time is going fast. Come lie on your back. If you want to put extra layers back on because I made you take them off before, this is the time. Once you're lying down, pull your knees into your chest. Sway left to right slightly to release any tension. We've done a lot of hamstring work and hip work and twisting. We're just going to end with one slightly different pose from what we normally do at the end. So place your feet wide on the floor. Feet maybe mat's width, mat's distance. Feet kind of close to your butt, but not all the way close. And then we're going to let both knees fall to the left, with the feet staying where they were. If your right knee comes close to the floor, this next step is for you. Otherwise, just focus on the turning in of the leg. If this hurts your knee, your right knee, I can feel it already in my right knee, then don't do the next step. I'm just going to show you and then release again. So now the left foot, if you want, is going to go on the outside of the right knee, right thigh, and relaxing back to the floor. So that means that the weight of the left leg is helping to turn in the right hip. Take slow, deep breaths. Keep checking in. If you want to extend the arms outwards or even extend them overhead so that your right side stretches out even more, you can do that. Breathe. One more breath here. And then release your foot off your knee first. Bring the knees back to center. And take a moment to let the legs relax. Maybe you want to extend the right knee out a little bit if it was a little bit sensitive. And then we'll switch to the other side. So feet, hips, mat's distance. Let your knees fall over to the right. If it feels okay for your left knee, place your right foot on top of the outside of your left knee to help it become a little bit more turned in and heavy towards the floor. If you want to do the arms, the left arm especially overhead, to extend the left side body even more. And try and make this, you're not lying on your right side, you're turning your left leg and hip in. So your left butt is almost as if it is still on the floor or it's moving towards the floor. Find your breath. One more. And then slowly release the foot off the knee first. Come back to center. Sway them a few times, left to right. And then extend your legs out for Shavasana, for the last pose. Make your legs super relaxed. So the feet a little bit wider than hips distance. And they're able to maybe open a little bit outwards. Arms slightly away from your hips with, if possible for you, your palms facing up. Close your eyes if you can. Pull your shoulders underneath you. And feel your body settling in to this softness. We've done some crazy stuff. So now we can rest and let the body process what we've learned. Maybe you feel tingling or warmth. If you do, then focus on that and imagine you're spreading it throughout your body. The tingling is the magic of the relaxation. If you don't feel it, that's fine too. Just allow your muscles to be heavy, to be relaxed. Can you relax your feet more and your legs, your ankles? Even your knees, the joints of your knees, imagine them softening, melting. Relax your hips more. Allow your whole pelvis to melt into the floor. And whatever you hear or think, keep coming back to your body, to your breath. You might hear some cat footsteps. It's all here to help you relax. Soften your arms more, your hands, your fingers. Relax your shoulders, your torso. Relax your neck, your jaw, and your tongue. Relax your face. Your head. All the little muscles around your mouth, around your eyes and your forehead. And even softening your eyeballs. Feel your breath. Feel the softness. And then make your next breath a little bit more deep, a little bit more active. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes, your ankles and your wrists. When you're ready, extend your arms overhead. Make yourself really long. Stretch out. Take a deep inhale. Hold it. As you exhale, release wherever your arms and legs are. And then bring the knees in one by one. Roll onto your side. Stay there with your eyes closed if you can in fetus position. Knees really pulled into your chest. Just for a few more breaths to take the time to reawaken the body and the mind before we sit back up. Slow, deep breaths. I'm going to use your arms, still keeping your eyes closed, if you can, to come up to a seat. Spine long, shoulders soft, face relaxed. Feel into your body. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. We'll close together with one Om. When you're ready, take a deep inhale. Bow your head to your hands. Take another deep inhale. Open your mouth, sigh it out, releasing whatever you don't need for the rest of your day. Namaste. When you're ready, lift your head back up. Slowly blink your eyes open. Thank you so much for practicing with us. I hope you enjoyed guest teacher Mickey today. He might have been a little bit distracting for me, but I hope it wasn't too distracting for you. Let me know how it went, and I hope to see you again very soon.